On the physical side, many people tell me that we went to their house and they offered me laddus and I had to eat. What can you do, Mataji? Actually, you see, they felt attracted towards the shape of the laddus. They ate it. But they didn't see the vibrations of those laddus. They just ate it off and then they had a stomach trouble. When they have a stomach trouble, then they said, Mataji, we have lost our vibrations now. What to do? We ate the laddus. But if you had seen that there are no vibrations in that laddus, you should have said that today I am not supposed to eat anything or something like that, and you should not have eaten that. If you see a born realized child, he will never eat. Even the mother beats the child, he says, all right, beat me, but I am not going to eat. Because they are not going to eat the filth. Such children are supposed to be very obstinate. They think they are obstinate. Because they know there is no vibration, so why should we eat? Because we are not going to enjoy. So on the physical side, there are so many such mistakes you are committing. If you take to now, say, habits you have, supposing you have a habit of, say, pulling your hair. There was some lady who had a habit of pulling her hair, and she used to become bald here, then bald here, then bald here. And the hair used to grow this side, and she used to have a bald head here, and she would pull her hair here. Such a person. So she came to me for treatment. Imagine. So I told her, why do you do like this? She says, now my attention is like that. It always starts pulling my hair. I said, what to do, such an attention you have got? So, her elder sister used to beat her on her hand. Anytime she put her hand, she said, you must beat me. If you don't beat me, I'll beat you. But the beating was on and everybody used to look at them, what are they doing to each other? And still she could not stop it. All habits are like this monkey business. All of them are like this. Because the matter is trying to sit on top of our attention all the time. And so we form habits. Certain habits are all right, convenient and convenience like that. I mean, some people to break habits, they say will not sit on the ground, not sit on the chair. So where will you sit? We'll sit in a sitting pose and we'll practice that sort of thing. I mean, you need not do such a nonsense. I'm meaning that certain things are all right. Don't go to extremes. But certain habits that we acquire is mostly because of fashions. And we start, because somebody is smoking, he forces you, he says, all right. And one bad habit we have got is not to say no to anyone. How to say no? You see, they were all drinking and they offered us drinks and we said no, but they were just forcing us and it looked very bad, not to drink. And they offered one glass of drink to me and then I said, all right, I'll have very little sip, one day, and then I had it like that. And then my relations, you see, they came, they invited us for dinner and we had to go, and then they started a cabaret dance, and we had to see after all. It would look very bad not to see a naked woman. Oh, we are very innocent people, so we go on explaining what to do now. This is the society, this is the fashion, this is the style, this is how it is. But a Sahaja Yogi is a special one. He is a chosen one. Because you haven't got your own value. तुम्हाला किंमत नाही स्वतःची. You have not valued yourself as I have valued you. This is a fact which very few realize really. That to get realization like this, there must be something tremendous that Mataji must have done. She must have put in lot of labor to work this out herself. She must have done tremendous tapasyas in all her life. And even in this life, she must have worked very hard, day in and day out. And here we are when we get it, how commonplace the whole thing is, how we are about it. I thought by giving realization you will immediately see your value and you will think that you are something great and that you have got this realization and this sakshatkar. But it is not so. And you start compromising with gross things in life. There is a huge populace which is to be led by one of you. One of you can lead all of them. Leaders do not compromise. Leaders do not solve the problem of the people whom they lead, but they give them problems to be solved. They stand above them. They are much above them. They do not compromise. They do not bend. Others bend before them. If the light starts falling and faltering on the roads, what will the person do who is carrying the light in the hand? You all are like the torches. And what kind of life you should have and a personality you should have, it is for you to decide. Thus, the attention gets the priority. When you understand how your physical being, presence, this body of yours has to be clean, has to be beautiful, has to be soft, kind, has to be elegant, dignified. I've seen people in groups when we are sitting down behaving in manner even an ordinarily educated person won't behave. The reason is you have not yet realized that you are the leaders and people are watching. There should be kind of a masti in you, as they call it, masti. Should be satisfied with yourself. So, on the physical aspect, what you eat, what you see, what you like, the whole priorities must change. What should be most important is sahaja. In every circumstance, in every method, a habit, sahaja. Sahaja means is born with you. Sahaja doesn't mean easy. Many people confuse. You have now got your right, that one was born with you. So now, these children had come ka? Udya ya bara ka? Udya. So, for you, it is necessary to know that you are a sahaja and that you are not going to accept anything that is asahaja. Sahaja means that. Sahaja means that you take the light of sahaja above everything else over the darkness and not to accept darkness, which is asahaja. So how can you have any habits which give you sympathetic bondage? Sahaja means you have a special, subtle awareness. A king doesn't clean the streets On the physical side, your attention is lost like that because you indulge into all asahaja methods that you had before, that others have. You get lost into the asahaja system of life. You have to change the complete system of the whole world in which people become sahaja and not asahaja. Then only the whole thing will become a sahaja for you. It is a big misunderstanding about sahaja yogis. They think, oh, when it will come sahaja, then we will do this work, then we'll go around and talk to people, it should come sahaja. Nothing doing. This is a very wrong attitude. Sahaja means that you have got the light of sahaja within you. And how can you tolerate anything outside of your life is concerned? Means you must know what to dress up, how to talk, where to go, whom to meet, who are your brothers, who are your sisters, who are your sons, and who are your parents. That is how your attention is lost. Then your gross habits, your old life that was there, which has to be chiseled out, has to be finished. And you cannot go on. Because if you go on, you'll catch up here, you'll catch up there, then you'll break your neck, you'll come to me, mother, I have broken my back, and this has happened, that has happened, it's paining, I'm getting hot, I'm getting headache, I'm doing this. Till you become sahaja, it will go on working on it. But why not become yourself? For example, a human being cannot sleep like a dog, for example. If he starts sleeping like a dog because there are all dogs around, then he is going to get the pain. In the same way, if you are going to be asahaja because all are asahajas, you are going to get into trouble. Because the dog doesn't feel, though he might be getting pain, but he doesn't feel it. But you definitely feel it. The person who is not yet reborn doesn't feel. He gets the problem, but he doesn't feel it. You can feel it. And you jolly well have to give it up. Sooner the better. If you don't give it up, then you are again going back to the same darkness. And this new darkness may be hellish, can be terrible. It's better to die as human beings then, because then you can go on being born again as animals, this, that. But to be born again and knowing you go on back again to your former habits, it can be very dangerous. That's how I fix your attention with little fear into your mind. To your subtler being. The subtler being can only enjoy. In the morning you did enjoy the meditation. You had become subtler. I pushed you down there. But you have to keep yourself subtler by remembering what has happened, how physically you felt nice. One of the worst habits that human beings have is to see the watch. It's so painful to me when I'm talking, people see the watch. I just can't bear it. Because now you are beyond time, beyond space. What are you going to do by saving time? What have you done so far? That shows your priority. Our priorities must change. And you can change them easily once you start enjoying. Once you have tasted the nectar of divine love, the Amrita, then you are not going to drink dirty water. But you first of all remember that, the joy that you enjoy. That is one way of fixing, so-called fixing your subtlety. is the attention which gets covered by gross things of life, even in the emotional side of it. For example, you have relationships. We have seen some Sahajogis being lost like that. They had some very gross relationships with people, even gurus, and some of them were friends, and some other dirty relationships, you can say. And they couldn't give up, and they are lost. So you have to sit down and find out, why am I not enjoying myself? I'm the loser. Because those things, if they were joy giving, I would not have run towards them from one to another. They never satisfied me fully. So why to go back to them again? The emotional enjoyments, whom you regard as something very important, are also to be weighed in the new dimension of your attention and the subtleties. You consider somebody as your very near and dear, and you have a business relationship or some sort of a, I don't know what sorts of human relations people have. You must know that it is very superficial and you cannot have any joy out of it. Like you drink water from a cup. Now, the cup itself is superficial, the water is superficial. The most important thing is your tongue, which can feel the water. If the tongue cannot feel the water, and if the water feels like stones, what's the use of taking water? So the most important thing is the taste in the tongue, in the essence. In the same way, the essence of our enjoyment is the joy. And the joy is in feeling the vibration. So wherever you get the joy, you should have it. But this new awareness is not so much gone into your being. That's why this is a problem. Otherwise, for human beings, it is not difficult to tell him that this is nice, you drink. He takes it and he knows it is nice. He won't eat something that is bitter. If you have to give him something horrible tasting, you'll have to give him chocolate first and chocolate later. But human beings, when they become evolved, I have seen that they are more prone towards these horrible things because of their previous attractions. So, put your attention fully towards divine. Pull it out completely towards it, so that there is no attention left towards the gross side. Even now, I find people coming and asking me, Mataji, I have a problem, I want a job, what should I do? This is to be done, that is to be done. Of course, that is, by the way, is all right. But if that attracts your attention, means you have lost sense of your understanding that you are a Sahajogi and that your joy is in the subtler form and you can enjoy it. So these gross things are never going to give you joy. So why not ask for something that is going to give you that subtle joy which you can enjoy. Only you can enjoy. So this is what happens to our attention. We get lost because of our previous ideas and our emotional bindings. And we can also say that our spiritual bindings, so called, we are Hindus, Muslims, Christians, we are vegetarians, non vegetarians, we are I don't know, we are Brahmins, non Brahmins, and all kinds of things we are, but we are not what we are. And all these things again also come back to you that we are Jains. So we are Jains, so we are very great people. You get me any Jain from anywhere or anyone from anywhere. Does he have this sense of vibration? Then how is it that person becomes your guru or that person can teach you about these things. You are now a master. Thus the headmaster comes and learns from the boys who are admitted in the schools. I have seen even a newcomer who comes in. If he has a bada, he can entice away at least 5% of Sahajogis easily. He will talk big, he will show off, and he can bring some guru inside, and 5% will run after that, minimum. How do you explain? Only thing is that you should not be one of them. Everyone should think for oneself and not for others. You should think that this you are capable of or not. So in spiritual bindings also your attention is lost like that. And all these dimensions are outside.